welcome to another edition of JD's Corner. Yesterday I gave you a listing of rules to live by to improve your life, and today I'm going to give you a list of things to stop doing in your life to improve your life. First thing I can tell you is to stop trying to make everyone in your life happy. It doesn't matter who it is. You can't please them all. It just will never happen for you. If you can live with the way your life is and you're happy with it, that's all that should matter. And don't worry about making everybody else's view of how you should live matter. It shouldn't, not in any way, shape, or form. And why? Because they've not lived your story, they've not walked a mile in your shoes, and they know nothing about you at all. So you just keep that in mind and don't worry about what other people think. You take care of yourself first. I would actually say the next thing I could ask is if you could stop fearing change. And change is a hard thing for anybody, whether it's minute, small, or it's gigantic and large. It is everybody's worst nightmare. So many people fear change. I have learned in my lifetime, though, that if I accept the change and I go at it full force, my life is better. It helps me to learn, it helps me to grow, it helps me to become a better human being. Fear of the unknown it's a great thing. You have to believe in yourself first. So trust in you that whatever fear that you have in your life, face it and move forward. Don't be afraid of just letting that fear hold on to you like a deer in the headlight and you get run over and bam, life is over with for you. Change that. Go face your fear. I promise you, you'll be able to live a much better, more freer life just for that alone. I would say to stop living in your past. Some of us have grown so accustomed to a certain way that we lived for so many years, and it's no longer that way. You're in a different kind of life, but you're accustomed to that, so you always bring it up and you always talk about it. So you're always keeping your past in your present, which is keeping you from having your future. Leave your past in your past. You can't change it. Nothing you can do about it. You can only leave it there. You can learn from it. You can grow from it, and you can move forward in your life and prosper better. So I would suggest that that's a big one. And please, people, stop putting yourself down. It doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks. Like I said, as long as you're proud of who you are and of what you've accomplished in your life, it don't matter what the rest did. They did not walk a mile in your shoes. And you need to remember that now and always. It does not matter who it is or how much money they have or position or power they have. For you to get from point A to point B takes a lot different avenue than it does for somebody else. It's a hard life out there. So stop putting yourself down and stop letting people judge you. Everybody in our society lives in a glass house, and whether anybody wants to admit it or not, they all have skeletons. So don't go throwing the first stone when you've got a bunch of your own. You may not like the way what I'm doing with my life. It doesn't matter. It's my life. It's not affecting you, and it's not touching you in any way, shape, or form. So just ignore it. It'll make your life better just because you've got one less thing to stress about, which is none of your business. I would suggest that you could possibly stop overanalyzing things. People, they break everything down and they overanalyze it instead of just coming up with the quick answer and doing it. You're going to get there, it doesn't matter. Analyzing it or not, it's not going to change the outcome. If you're worried about something and you stress over it and you stress over it and you stress over it, when the outcome happens, it's going to happen the same way, whether you stressed or you didn't. The only difference is you're not going to take years of your life off, you're not going to increase your blood pressure, and you're not going to have 2 or 3 days worth of stress while a problem is being resolved. You don't need that, so stop doing it to yourself. You're better than that. I overanalyze things all the time, so that's something I definitely have to keep conscious in my mind instead of trying to just get everything straight and go for it and just get it done. Let go of what's gone in your life. And that's a hard one. I get it. You could be losing a spouse, a divorce. You could have a loss of a child. You could have a loss of a parent, a son, a daughter. But you can't hold on to that and let it carry you through your whole life. I gave my brother some great advice years ago, and to me, as a result of that advice, he shot himself. He blew his brains out. The advice was the girl was giving him that he was going to marry was treating him really bad, and she put a shock collar around his throat, as he called it. Came to me, talked to me about it, and I told him to stop over the next day. I have a big pool, fenced in backyard. We have a few drinks, swim a little bit, have dinner, and we'll see if we can figure it out for you. So long story short, he come over, told me what was wrong. He said, Angie's got this shock collar on me and I don't know what to do about it, and I'm scared to marry her, and my wedding day is coming up. So my suggestion to him is marriage to me, and it's just to me, it's not to the rest of the world, but it's a one-time deal. You do it to the best of your knowledge. You don't scapegoat it. You don't skate around it. You put 150% of everything you have into your marriage. It will work. But both parties have to do it. I said, if she loves you, she'd be willing to wait. And it shouldn't matter if you marry her today, tomorrow, or next month. When you're ready, make the commitment. I said, that's what I would do. I'm not telling you to do that. Whatever you suggest or whatever you want, you let me know and I will be there. I picked you up off the ground your whole life and I won't let you fall now. So he left, thought about it for a while, came back, decided he wanted to break it off with Angie. And I'm like, okay. So I said, I got your back no matter what. So he went and found Angie. Long story short, Angie basically said, I don't give a shit. I'm pissed off at you. Get the fuck out of my life, and I hate you right now. And it was a woman being scorned. I get that part, but to the evilness of it, I don't. So Tom got up and he left. He came back, told me what happened. He was hurt, and so we talked for a little while, and I tried to help him. A year went by. It was getting closer and closer to the anniversary of the wedding, and Tom realized that he made a mistake and he wanted to spend his life with Angie. He tested all the other waters, I guess. He spent the whole year drinking and just falling apart without her in his life. So he called me on the phone, explained the situation to me, and I said, well, then you don't need to be telling me this, Tom. I said, you need to go tell her. And like I said, no matter what, I've always got your back. So Tom went and found Angie. He told Angie what was going on and that he was in love with her and he was really sorry. He got cold feet, but he wants the wedding to continue. And she looked him right in the face and said, I do not give a shit. She goes, you go straight to hell. I don't want nothing to do with you ever again. You insulted me and you hurt me. And that's just the way she handled it. And then she's like, I'm sleeping with one of your best friends just to piss you off so you'll never have nothing to do with me again. And Tom, being young, first time really in love, said, I don't know what to do. There's pain in my heart, Angie, and I don't know what to do about it. And Angie, as cold as can be, looked and said, why don't you take a bullet and go blow your, or why don't you get a gun and go blow your brains out? And Tom got up, walked out of the store he was in, walked across the street, bought a case of beer, a set of pumpkin balls, went home, popped the beers, 1, 2, 3, 4, slammed them all down until the whole 24-pack was gone, ejected a shell into his shotgun, chambered it up, sat down on his couch, put it against his chest, and blew his brains out, and he killed himself. And I carried that with me for a long time, and I destroyed half of my younger life. I got into drinking, I got into drugs, I got into, I guess you'd call them narcotic, or prescription pills, I got into alcohol, I was into fighting, I was cheating in my life on the people that I was with. I didn't give a shit about nothing. I spun completely out of control. And by taking what happened in my past and bringing it with me, it destroyed what my present was in my life, and it really did mess up my future. So you got to learn to forgive yourself. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes. And I can't tell you no more than the fact that when I walked in and saw my brother sitting there, and there was a gun against his chest and his head was completely gone, I collapsed. Police grabbed me and caught me and tried to stop me from going in, but I had to see. I mean, he's my best friend in the world. He died. And I blamed myself for it. So I took that guilt with me and I carried it around with my life for almost 10 years. And I wanted to die. I did everything, and God just would not let me die. I tried killing myself. I tried overdosing. I tried driving into things. I tried getting in fights with people that should have just killed me. And for some reason, I had this amazing anger and strength in me that I've never experienced before. The power, the rage that came out of me. And I hurt a lot of people. So you got to let go of your past. You got to let whatever mistakes you have done, just let them go. Know that you're a better person. You survived whatever it was. Learn the lessons. Let it improve who you are, and let it improve your life and move forward. It's one of the key ingredients, I think, to having a better life is to learn to forgive yourself and forgive others. I have a forgiveness problem, but it's a key to it. I would say the next thing would be to be grateful for what you have in your life. I know people that live under a street and beg for food every moment of the day. They just beg for it to rain so they can have a drop of water hit their tongue. They haven't showered in days and they smell really bad. If you have a roof over your head and you have food in your belly, you have a job, you have someone to share your life with, you have your bills paid, you are farther ahead than more people you could ever imagine. Then you got to look at your other blessings, that you've got food in your belly, you have God in your life every day, and He's watching over and protecting you. And maybe He's not giving you that multi-million-dollar lifestyle, but He's giving you everything that you need to live. All you got to do is just do the right things with it. That's part of our free will. So be grateful for what you have. Don't go out on Thanksgiving Thursday, and thank God for everything that's in your life, and then get up Black Friday morning and go kill people and trample them down trying to get something that you don't have in your life and you really don't need. It's not worth it. I'm grateful for the small things in life. The big things, they come along once in a while, but the small things are there every day, and people take them for granted, and they don't realize just how much God has done for you every solitary day, because to you it's a natural smooth motion of life, but interrupt that motion and watch everything tumble. All you got to do is lose one leg. The whole rest of the day sucks. God, that's Him keeping everything in a row for you. And as long as you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, you're not stepping out of line in any way, you're good. People talk about reading the Bible all the time. That's very important. I don't read the Bible. I know good from bad. I know right from wrong. And that's what the Bible's about. To me, right now, it's more of an interpretation of somebody else's thoughts on the Bible than it is the actual scripture that was written. When you go to church, you don't go to church and learn God's Word. You learn somebody else's interpretation of God's Word. And I have a problem with that, because in the Bible, it talks about how Jesus gave and helped the world. And when I see Christians and Protestants and everything else today, I see a money circuit. That's it. I see a pastor standing up in $5,000 suits and $800 Gucci shoes and driving limousines and having a $15,000 Rolex on them and having 4 or 5 different cars, a 350,000 square foot ranch. That's not what the Bible, that's not what teaching is about. When I look down the front row and I see all that money that's been collected, and everybody in that front row is hungry and homeless, and there's single mothers and single fathers that need help, and they get very little. They fill out all of this forms, and if they qualify, they get a little bit of help out of all of that money. And the rest of it, that multi-million-dollar church you're in, that multi-million-dollar mansion that he lives in, that's where it all goes. I don't need that shit. I am at peace with God. God is very prevalent part of my life, so I can have Bible class anywhere. I can sit and talk about the Lord openly in front of anybody, and I don't care if they like it or not. He's saved my life, and He's changed me, and He's made me a better man. And for that, I know where I was, I know where I've been, and I know where I'm going. And where I'm going looks a lot better than where I was. That leads me into the next one, to look forward to your future. We don't know what's set in motion for us. We just know that the future is already pre-planned. According to the Bible, God has given every one of us a pre-planned life before we were born, and then He gave us free will. And the free will allows us to change that path. If we're not liking the way our path is going right now, then it is up to us to open our minds and be honest with ourselves so we can get off the bad path and get back on the one traveled. I said yesterday, the easy road, it's the hard road, but it's the better road. It's the more successful road. It's the road that'll get you from point A to point B and what you need, and be there alive and have protection all the way down. God will be there for you if you make an effort and you try. But He can't help you if you don't help yourself. Always remember that no matter what. You can't ask God to do something for you that you're not willing to step out and try. He can't just work a miracle like that. If you don't buy a lottery ticket, He's never going to help you win it. And why? Because you never went out and bought the ticket. He can't materialize it in your hands. He's not that kind of God. Your future is everything. It can be anything that you want. The sky's the limit. The stars are the limit. I have tried things in my life that has made me a great life. I have done things in my life that I'm not proud of. I have done things in my life to hurt people. I have done things in my life to love people. I have done things in my life to change other people's lives. But the one constant thing is each thing I did for somebody else helped me in my future one way or another and rounded me to be a better man. A better man spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, and it made me a better husband. So look forward to your future and what it all has to bring. Be excited about it. Jump into it. Just go get it. You'll be amazed. There's doors you don't even know ready to open and windows ready to close behind you because you're done with that part of your life. Just keep going forward. You'll find what you're looking for. Yes, you're going to run across a few obstacles along the way. That's normal. It's no big deal. Have a few obstacles. But also know that once you figure them obstacles out, and when you run into them again in the future, and you'll be able to breeze right through them. Don't give up. Remember, if it doesn't work out the first time, it will eventually work out if you stay at it. And probably, this is one that's not good for me, is forgiveness. But you can't carry burden in your heart towards friends. You just can't. Somehow they say you got to let it go. I haven't exactly figured out how to do it, but that doesn't mean that my way's right by holding on to the grudge. So, and I know because there are times when I should have let the grudge go and I didn't, and it really did put a black cloud on my life and just pull me down so low. It just, And then when I finally just said the hell with it and let it go, everything seemed to instantly brighten back up. So there are going to be people that are going to hurt you every solitary day of your life. You just have to learn to forgive them. You don't have to forget what they did. That way you'll be able to keep an eye on them in the future. But if you can just forgive them for the smaller things in life, you won't have so many of them burdens carrying around inside of you, which will give you a healthier life, less stress, better sleep, better eat patterns, better everything. People, find it in your heart to forgive. We can all go to war and we can all hate, and anybody can do that. It doesn't take any kind of rocket scientist, and it doesn't take a very special person to kill another person. It really don't. All you got to have to do is the reason. But to just open your heart and say, I forgive you for hurting me, that is probably one of the most mature, grown-up signs of who you are as a human being. And there's not a lot of people know how to do it. I, for one, like I said, I don't. I can forgive the small things, but when somebody intentionally gets up and hurts me on purpose, there's no forgiveness in my heart for that. No, because I'm not going to give you the opportunity to do it again to me. You did it once, shame on you. If I let you do it again, shame on me. No, I'll kill you the second time. It's just that easy. So forgiveness is not an easy thing for me. But it is the right thing to do, and that's the important part of that conversation. I thank you guys for watching all my videos. I hope something, again, I said, will just make life better for somebody. These are some really great rules to improve your life. I wish you all a great evening. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great day. God bless, and bye-bye.